Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and I'll be honest with every single person tuning in to the video, I'm sitting here buzzing, right? You can see a smile as well and truly on the Nasher, in case you didn't see it. There it is right there, but there's also a mixture of relief coming into this game because by God did we make it difficult in stages, and by God did we give yet another ridiculously awful set piece goal to just give away to the opposition. Generally, that was the worst set piece goal I've seen us concede since our last game. People, that's right. It was frustrating at parts. There's so much VAR debate, but there is also so much good football to actually break down as well. So join me, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, and let's talk about Motherwell 2, Rangers 4. Now stop me if you've heard me say this before, it was a frustrating, poor first half and a very good second half. That's right, we're still not really ticking the box in a complete performance yet, but it was a performance well and truly deserving of 3 points, and that's of course what was the objective. That was the whole point going in to this weekend. And as we go ahead and discuss this game of football, because trust me, I have a couple things to actually say. I just want to say a massive thank you to all the support recently on the channel. We are trying to reach 60,000 subscribers, so if you are new around here, or if you are a regular viewer who tunes in who hasn't subscribed, because I believe we're still at 51% of our regular viewership, please consider hitting that subscribe button, help us on our way. And if you are subscribed, hit the like button, as that helps others find the old channel. But let's get into it. And I don't know if I can start another game recap talking about Todd Cantwell, but I feel like I need to, people, because this guy right here is quickly replacing Daniel Russo as my favourite player to ever wear a headband, people. This guy just comes out here and plays football to a standard that genuinely separates him from most on that Rangers park. And I'm not being disrespectful to anyone, but every single time you watch this laddie, you say, aye, he's got it. Even if you don't know what that is, people, you look at him and say, I think he's trying to show me is, once again, I don't know how many man of the matches now I've given Todd Cantwell, and sorry for spoiling the rest of the video, but I believe that's yet another one, people. And I think based on the game recaps, that's 4 of the last 5 matches Todd Cantwell has played and started for this football club. I've gave him my man of the match. I don't think I really need to go into too much detail here, but he was the heartbeat, and everything positive for this team started with this laddie. And again, he's just in the door. Usually it takes people, especially annoyingly at Rangers, a couple months and that to settle into the jersey, but he's took the jersey that some people say he may be too lightweight to actually wear. He won't be able to do this. Oh, he's a wee bit of this player or anything. Oh, he's this, people, but he's took all that, spun it in a negative, and now he is the heartbeat of this Rangers team. So I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't start this game recap without shouting out our man Todd Cantwell. I always pick one player that was special in the game to start with, and it's that man again for the 4th time in the last 5 matches. He's just an incredible footballer. Now, was he a bit lucky to get his goal, people? Aye, but we'll get to that because we're going to start off with the actual game recap the way we should start it, and that's at the beginning, like all good stories, unless it's a Quentin Tarantino film where you've just got no idea what the actual start or ending actually is. But this game started off frustratingly for Rangers, and it started off with something, a familiar tune to anyone who watched yesterday's preview video, because me and they sat here and spoke about it. I said, if Ridvan starts this game of football, look out for the long diagonals in behind them, and right away they were going for him, and they pretty much went for him the entire game. But this time it was former Rangers player Sean Goss with a nice ball in behind to Johnson. Johnson gallops down the right channel, puts in a ball to the back mixer. There's no defensive slides or anything. I think Golton's not sliding because he thinks it's offside here, by the way, but again, not to be overly critical here or anything like that, but I feel like maybe even if Golson just pretends, or he might not be wanting to slide in case he maybe hits it into the back easy net and all that stuff. Maybe he's expecting Alan McGregor to maybe make a move for it. There could be a lot of things, but I feel like as a centre half, you should be at least trying to make a move towards the ball, because that way the guy that's behind you doesn't have a free sight on goal to tap it. Even if Golton just slides in and doesn't make contact with the actual football, it just puts a wee bit of pressure on the guy that's behind them, but there's no movement. Again, I think Connor Golson thinks it's offside the entire time. Him and Davies have kind of got that. I liked them as a partnership, as you all know, but it's a couple times now, we've actually spoke about this a couple times on the channel, that the both of them are so in tune with each other. When one of them thinks it's offside, so does the other. We got caught with that versus Celtic a couple of times. We've been caught with that versus Hibs in the past and that as well. They just need to play to the old whistle as Van Veen gets an easy tap in. And aye, it's 1-0. Now, I might be wrong here, right? But the angle I saw, it's offside. And it looks offside to me. Again, there might be other angles and that coming out here, but I just feel like it wasn't done right. I seen the line that they put up, but they're doing it to his knee, no his shoulder. That's obviously in front of his knee. I think they done the lines at the wrong part. Sorry, I know it's a pedantic part of the game that we all absolutely hate, but rules are rules, and I think this one shouldn't have stood. Feel free to shout me and correct me in the comment section if you've seen a different angle, but again, for me, it looks as if they've done the line at the wrong part, which might sound ridiculous, people, but it has happened several times down in the Premier League, and I think it's actually happened up here. It's a first ballot Hall of Fame howler. Speaking of howler, Slattery was cutting about here looking mental in this game as he was just getting involved in absolute everything. And Lundstrom, who started this game, started off pretty slowly. I thought him and Jackal was a bit too safe with the actual ball. Again, two players that's very similar, like today, what they want. That's why I like a Jackal partner and a Raskin, because Raskin's a forward-thinking type player. But Lundstrom, I thought, actually done a lot of the old mind game, something that he stopped doing this season. Because I don't know if you noticed this, but when Slattery has his first little kick, I believe it's at Cantwell, Lundstrom's right in his face, he's kind of chirping at him a couple of times, kind of like laughing, trying to wind him up and everything like that. And he's at that a couple of times, and we're going to jump about 10-15 minutes around about the 20th minute, because what actually happens, Lundstrom's been in his face, Lundstrom's been winding him up a wee bit, kind of been giving a wee bit of a stare, if you will, and everything like that. And what happens next? And next time Lundstrom actually has the ball, he's galloping, and Slattery, who has been on the end of a wind-up, just comes in from behind and absolutely leaves one on John Lundstrom, which gives us a very dangerous free kick about 5 yards out, maybe even closer than that, outside the actual box. And up steps Tavernier with a gorgeous free kick for us. For a Motherwell, I think you're annoyed that you're off from not diving, and I think you're disappointed in Liam Kelly, but do I care? No. People, gorgeous penalty from Tavernier. It was about 25-24 yards. Freaking out. But I wanted to mention that for Lundstrom because that's something I've not seen a lot of this season, but it's the first time I've seen him. I mean, there was a clip where he's tapping another boy in his face and laughing at him and everything like that. It's just like, that's who you were when you were running games, people. You were winding them up, you were making them make mistakes. I don't know if anyone else noticed this or if it's a boring wee bit of trivia if you want for the game, but that's what I want for Lundstrom. Wind the opposition up, force them into make mistakes and let it help us as a team, as we obviously needed that coming in to the game. Now, Ridvan, who again was attacked a lot down that side, won his fair few share of headers and actually had a great moment defensively just 30 seconds after we make it 1-1 as they try to get a counter-attack as Connor Goldson tries to find Lundstrom. They intercept it. That ball's, I don't know about you, but you've noticed that a couple of times. People seem to read that. We need to kind of avoid that because the boy just runs and gets it. It looks like it's going to be a devastating counter-attack as they've got a 3-on-2 almost. But to be fair to Cholak, he actually sprints down the left-hand side, covering and getting back before Connor Goldson. And Ridvan cuts inside and makes a brilliant slide challenge that gets enough on the ball to deflect it to Cholak, who is now playing centre-back, and we end up getting it away. Just wanted to give a wee bit of shout-out to Ridvan there, because again, it wasn't a great overall performance for the wee man, but when we needed him to defend, he defended pretty well. And again, shouting out Cholak's work rate to getting back and being at the centre-back spot faster than Connor Goldson, because if he isn't there, you've got Van Veen sitting there with nobody actually on him, so aye, pretty good defending for the big Croatian, and he was involved in the next major opportunity in the game as he does well to bring a ball down inside the box. He turns his man, plays out to Tavernier, the ball gets whipped in, it falls to Lundstrom, who hits a great volley, low and hard, great technique. It ends up being a very good save for Liam Kelly, but Sakala is there for a reaction, there for a rebound, but the big man swish and it ends up gone a mile wide. And I just thought to myself, that kind of summarises Sakala's first half, people, because I just thought the front three wasn't really working as an overall unit. Again, Cholak had a couple of nice wee touches, brought others into play, but I thought Kent was kind of anonymous in the first half, and I thought Sakala was the worst of Sakala, where everyone's bouncing off him, he's been rash with challenges, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Nothing never comes off, and you're just sitting there saying, oh, I've seen this first half before, let's hope and pray we get second half Sakala. But of course, we did. But aye, we go in 1-1. It's been a poor first half. We've seen that first half before. I don't really need to go into too much detail. And again, what I was saying on social media, if you follow me on Twitter, I was like, Sakala's been so poor in this game where nothing has came off that he's clearly going to score now in the second half. In fact, I think he'll score 3 and be offside twice, people. But I never got the quite full part of the story, but 60 seconds into the restart, it's great again from Cantwell as he gets on the ball. Of course he does, he's the heartbeat of the team. He's driving, he beats a man, plays out to Tavernier, who takes a touch. Actually beats his man as well. It wasn't just a first time cross, very well marshalled by Tavernier to get down to the right hand side, whips in a great cross. And I swear to God, right, Sakala's missing sitters, missing headers for fun. How many free headers did he miss in the last game? Well, this game at Fir Park, the boys jumped up, people, like this, and he spun around in the air and he scored with that, people. Sakala misses 3 headers but scores 360 back headers. Make it make sense. I kind of can't help but love the boy. I know it's absolutely mental and I know he's so infuriating with the ball, but this lad either scores or assists. He is a game changer. People, love him or loathe him, he's always involved, and it doesn't work 90% of the time, but the credit you've got to give a Fashion Sakala is he's involved in so much that the 10% ends up getting us a goal or an assist. He's such an enigma. I almost want to call him the Riddler. Yes, that was an Edward Nigma reference. You're welcome if any the old nerds quote that one. But we end up taking the lead. It's a perfect start to the second half, and I honestly thought this is going to be an absolute pummeling because we kind of brushed over at the end of the second half, but I felt like Motherwell was already tiring about the 40th minute and everything like that. We'd started to get on the ball and we really picked it up at the second half as we ramped up the pressure, ramped on Cantwell's usage, and he was just pulling the strings and just drifting in and out of space and pulling defenders, man. It must be infuriating to try, and I didn't think it was Kent's best game tonight until probably about 15 minutes before the actual end. But see, when you've got his movement like that and you've got Cantwell's, you're constantly running. It's not like when players and teams can just sit in and sit with a low block or that. They've got to constantly move, and I think we absolutely just ran them ragged. And Cantwell, after us making it 2-1, ends up picking a ridiculous through ball in behind Antonio Colak. It's Tony Goals running through on goal. I'm saying it's in. He starts going again a little bit wider because of the way the ball is actually drifting, and then I'm seeing Sakala there and I'm like, well, Colak's passing it because Colak always passes it. He's got that in his game, but then he takes another touch and then rattles it just wide, and you hear Sakala screaming, and I thought that was quite ironic because of what happened in the Kilmarnock match 2 weeks ago, what happened in the Hibs match when Sakala never passed to him. So it was frustrating, people, and it is really annoying. It really should be game, set and match because Colak should just get his head up and pass it, but I just think it's one of the ends. He's not had a shot and goal yet. He's a striker. He wants to keep because he knows Morelos is in behind him. He tries to put it in when he really should pass it, and it's something I've voiced my opinion on a hell of a lot on this channel. It doesn't matter who scores. The only thing that matters is that we are actually doing it. I wish it's sunk into a lot of the players here as Colak again shoots when he should pass it and we end up missing a major opportunity, and that really should have been game, set and match. And what happens, people, despite being on top, if you didn't take your chances to put the final nail in the coffin, that thing will pop back out like the Undertaker's just heard a dong, people. That's a sound effect, by the way. Didn't people, and we give away a set piece, and what happens? Is it just me, or we could see the 76 set pieces this season? Is it? Can somebody fact check that for me? Because it feels like it, people. And what's mad is 74 of them's been exactly defended like this. Is it's a ball whipped in. Tavernier just needs to get it away. Just get it away. But he ends up just spooning it right up in the air. You've then got Mugabe. I think he's battling Colak, and I believe he's battling Goldson here. I might be wrong, and that might be Ben Davies. But they ends up going up. It's a handball here, by the way. The ball then drops to Tavernier again, who has another swing and miss at the volley. You've then got Colak trying to hold off Mugabe because he thinks McGregor's just going to come and get a ball that's just sitting there 2-3 yards out. But that lad's having sitting on a deck chair on his line, no moving. Colak's like that. Mugabe just puts in, I think it goes either in between his legs or something like that, but he ends up smashing it into the back of net, and you're just sitting back thinking, oh my sweet Jesus, that is stinking. But what's scary, people, is we've seen that before. The frantic defending, the nervy defending, players thinking the goalie's coming out to actually smother the ball that he should be actually getting 2 yards at his actual goal and everything. It's a complete mess, and it's completely self-inflicted once again. But again, I'm just going to pull it back. it does hit McGabby's hands. So technically VAR should be looking at that and ruling it out. Again, I think these rules and all that are mental, but when you look at the penalty that Cholak gave away a couple of weeks ago when he's up in the air and he's actually on the way down and the header hits him there, what's the difference between that ended up being a penalty and a boy's, when it hits his hand, they bring it down and scores it into the back of net? It's a weird rule. Again, I'm not just sitting here. I also think a Rangers goal shouldn't count in a couple of minutes, so I'm not just sitting saying, oh, the Motherwell goals shouldn't have counted, but I genuinely think VAR's had another howler here, and I don't know how they've actually missed it. And you all know this pains me a bit, the goalie situation. He's got to come out for it. Right, if he's not coming out for the first shin that's just right up in the air, just go out there and punch it. You're winning a free kick. We know the way this modern game is. If you touch a goalie, if you look a goalie in the eyes, people, it's a free kick. Just go up there and punch it and get it away. I don't know why we never do it, but aye, the rushy bloods for Alan McGregor. I think he knows it himself, because what happens 50, 60 seconds later, they actually get another counter-attack and McGregor just comes out his line ridiculously when he really actually shouldn't, and he ends up missing the ball. Thankfully Van Veen's chip ends up going wide, or it would have been 3-2 there, because again I think McGregor knows he should have come off his line and smothered that ball and got it either with the punch or when Cholak's holding off a player thinking his goalie's going to fall on top of the ball. He comes out, tries to win the ball, Disney. Thankfully though, Van Veen hits it wide. And by the way, can I just say, that is it for the Motherwell perspective. Thankfully, people, because now we well and truly started taking control again of the game, and it's no surprise to me that it's again Cantwell. He just brings such a calming influence, but a forward thinking influence, if you know what I mean. It's not always just safe, boring possessions. You've got to actually mark him, and you've got to get somebody out to him quickly, and that creates space for others. And him and Kent ends up combining very well here as Kent ends up galloping forward. He picks out Sakala down the left hand side. Sakala hits an across. It takes a deflection, I believe, and then Kent tries to get it. It takes a deflection off him. Cholak hits a kind of volley that's, I believe, very well saved by the goalie. It falls to Tavernier. He then forces the goalie in another very good save. And then the third time, people, the third time a ball falls to somebody in the box, it falls to Cantwell, and Cantwell just hits the old daisy cutter, people. The toe pokey dreams in to the old back of net. He's away, then fly kicks again. And then there's a VAR check. Then the replay comes up, and then it looks like Sakala's offside, people. And I'm saying, oh, no. Sakala's offside, of course it is. And I'm watching it back, and I'm watching the replay, I'm watching it, I'm like, it's offside. It's killing the game, this. And then the goal is given, and I'm like, the VAR's not got a clue. Because I genuinely think the last 3 goals that's been scored should have actually counted. And I'm laughing here, people, because I've just been so well trained now just to expect Sakala to be offside, even when he's given his onside. I didn't even trust it. But if there was ever anyone who deserved the rub of the green and maybe 76 deflections inside the box to 40 him, it's Todd Cantwell, because he's been absolutely sensational since he trotted in. But of course we retook the lead that's now getting later in the game, and after scoring that goal, by the way, to take the lead, we make a double substitution as Alfredo Morelos comes on and big Malik Tillman, which I was so excited to see, people. And I don't know about you, and again I know this is really nerdy and probably boring to 90% of you, but see when you've got Tillman, see when you've got Cantwell, and see when you've got Kent all on the park at once, did anyone else notice the movement of them three? It is absolutely no surprise to me that when we made that substitution, yes, I know Motherwell's obviously piling more people forward and they're trying to get in because it's obviously letting. I get all that, but if you look at the spacing alone, people, it's incredible having those 3 forward-thinking, creative players just making moves. The amount of space that was created for our players was absolutely frightening, and within 4 minutes of coming on to the actual part, the movement just creates gaps that wasn't created before. As a gorgeous pass comes down, I believe it's from Kent, who plays Alfredo Morelos down to the left-hand side. Morelos, I thought was going to hit it with his left, cuts back, pings it out to just the edge of the box. It falls to Malik Tillman, and this is by no stretch of the imagination an easy touch they actually did. He takes it with the outside of his foot, people, brings it air to his stronger side within one move, keeping it on a string, and then absolutely burns it like George Albert's would have people in to the breadbasket. That's right, Sir George is sitting somewhere with a smile on his face because that's the hardest a ball's hit the back of the net since he was last here. And you saw him right away, the touch, the skill, the technique. If you didn't want this laddie at this football club, I don't know what else to tell these people, because all you see for this laddie is quality, and he is just a ridiculous level at just the age of 20 years old. There's boys people want for the youth team given opportunities and that are older than this laddie. People, he's absolutely a joke. The first touch alone tells you everything about it, and then the second gen is just a ridiculous finish. I love this laddie, and if any Bayern Munich fans or anything are watching this recap, he's playing poorly. I'd maybe feed that back to the actual team. Maybe feed it back on your social media channels that he's really underwhelming, and maybe, just maybe, we can handshake on a deal that's 500k rather than 5 million. But honestly, I'd pay 15 for this laddie. Honestly, I'd give half the team to keep this laddie in this club and watch this laddie develop, and I really, really mean that. I'd give them all. Just come back, Tillman, because we need you, lad. If this is you at 20 years old and your first professional season, the last laddie that I seen come in and take it to this level right away in his first professional season as at the top level was Calvin Bassey. That's genuinely, like, when he came here playing youth level at Leicester, I came in here and just right away took off like that. That's the exact same feeling, that's the exact same buzz that I'm getting about Tillman. This is his first season as a professional, playing week in and week out, and just look at what he's doing, the amount of goals, more goals in Ariel, more goals in this, more goals in this guy we all loved. He's 20-year-old. Pay it, man. Just pay it. Sorry, what happened to Blacktoot? Was I talking about Tillman? Again, sign the laddie. Morelos does very well to get the assist in that as well, and again, you look at the substitution made there. Tillman came on, got a goal, probably should have had 2 or 3 assists if Morelos was more clinical, and Morelos came on, got an assist, and should have had at least 2 or 3 goals with the sitters and chances that he actually passed up. For one of the few times in the last little while, I'm actually going to praise a substitution for Michael Beale, as it worked to perfection, as both of them hot. Motherwell side, who again, I know they were piling more people forward. I know they weren't as strictly defensive as they were the majority of the game when the other boys were on. But again, giving credit to the substitutions for coming in and making an impact. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And speaking of substitutions, we saw Ridvan come off for our boy Scotty Arfield. Another substitution we spoke about yesterday with the change formation. And aye, there were just too many creative players on the park. It was going to be a pumping either way. And then a red card ends up coming as Slattery, who again was just wound up the entire game of football. Was my camera out of focus? How long's that been out of focus for? Where was that? Slattery, out of focus. Oh aye, people. Cantwell comes in, the boy throws his arm back. Now, I would like to sit here like Sir Alex Ferguson, the great Sir Alex Ferguson, and say he could have been killed. It was definitely a red card. But again, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? For that, I think VAR probably should have looked at that. He does throw the arm actual back, but there's no too much contact. But aye, that's the only way they were going to get close to Todd Cantwell, is actually by doing something like that, or throwing the arm, because he was just head and shoulders above everybody this afternoon, in my personal opinion. Slattery ends up getting his second yellow. He does the walk, and again, Rangers just took over the game, just created numerous chances for Morelos. One where he played it down the left, there's the chalk back onto his right foot, again showing maybe the lack of confidence in front of goal. Morelos is usually pinging that with his left. He's actually pretty good with his left, in my opinion. Ends up scuffing that one. There's a couple headers where he misses, especially one free header that he really should get on target after Tillman does brilliant work to actually get it in to the laddie, and another one where a cross comes in from Tavernier at the back post where the goalie spills it, falls right to Morelos, but it doesn't react quickly enough. And that's kind of it for the actual chances in that in the game. I'm not going to break it down too much. We did dominate the last 15-20 minutes. Kent was skilling everybody. It was vicious to actually watch, and we got the job done at that point. Again, it was 4 going on about 10 people, and man of the matches could be a couple options. Of course, Cantwell was mine, and just in my opinion, but it also could be Tavernier, who got a goal and an assist in the game, a vital goal from a free kick in that as well, which now makes it his 19th goal contribution in 29 games, people, in the Premiership. That is a joke, by the way. Leads the top 10 leagues in the whole world with that start, which is just simply incredible. But again, he did have that wee dodgy moment defensively. But it's up to you guys. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this game of football. Again, I'm delighted with the win. I'm going to be happy. I saw enough for all the boys starting off it. Again, it wasn't the greatest overall performance, but it's about getting the job done. And Michael Beale now makes it 8 consecutive away wins and that, which is absolutely sensational for a Rangers manager coming in and picking up the pieces that was scattered everywhere with where we were as a football club. Again, it's disappointing we can't play a full complete performance, but I don't think we'll see that type of full complete performance every week until we get a pre-season and really get legs in these boys and work these boys the way they should have been getting worked last season. Never that. But aye, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. And if you are watching, by the way, let me know what you thought of Ridvan's overall performance. I thought he was very solid, and it's something to look forward to and seeing more for the young laddie. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been CJ over 92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye bye.